Hey y'all, I'm Laura Richardson with Relevate, and we're bringing you another episode of I'm Moving to North Carolina, Now What? So we're going to talk about the 5 things that are most surprising to sellers when they go to list their house. And I don't think that you're going to think these are the 5 things. So first of all, when you're going to list your home, you typically have a to-do list and some things that you're willing to do or not do. Obviously, there is always a case by case to each of these different scenarios. So we're talking in generalities. So just know we may not be talking specifically to you. But the first thing is it's 1 to buy, 2 to sell. Meaning if you got married after you bought that house, your spouse now has to sign all of the documents. And so some of you are probably thinking, okay, well, Susie isn't even on the deed. It's not in the tax portal. So how is anybody going to know? Well, there's typically some signs that there's somebody else. Like, for example, if you're showing a house and there's 2 different types of clothing that exist in the house, or Susie and Bobby both sign the disclosures. Typically, there's some dead giveaways, or like the seller information sheet comes out from the closing attorney and miraculously there's 2 names now listed on it. So just keep that in mind. Even if the deed was never updated or the tax portal still says it's just one person, you typically have to have both parties sign everything. The only time we've seen kind of some variations on this is like if there's an estate situation and a trust is involved. Usually you can have like one signer of an LLC or an estate sign off on stuff. So again, like I said, there's an asterisk to everything. The second thing is people love their pets. They may not love your pets. So when you're prepping your home, you have to think about, and it's sometimes good to bring in a third party with their own sniffer here, make sure that there's not evidence of your pet. One of the biggest ones that we see is pet odor. So take a look at all of your furniture, especially anything that has like a cloth to it. Maybe get that upholstery cleaned, get that carpet deep cleaned, or even in some cases replaced. You want to fix anywhere where there's scratch marks. So that could be woodwork, your door, like cats, for example, love to pick at carpet fibers. If there is anything that can show that there is a pet living there, you may want to remove it. So research actually shows that most people love their cats, but they may not actually like anybody else's cats. It's kind of the same thing with other animals. That dander, for example, if they have allergies, they might be really fearful of moving into the property and then continuing to have reactions. So it's really good for you to just kind of make it a clean slate. And also, if you have any unique pets, definitely remove those to the property. I have definitely had a client or 2 scream when a big old python just happens to be in a tank in the corner. It does not bode well for getting them in a good headspace when you're showing them their future new home. So number 3, buyers do not want to pick their own paint. I know this is typically a conversation that we have over, oh, the red walls, do we really have to get rid of them? Most buyers are going to come in here, they're going to pick their own design scheme, so why am I paying for that? Well, I can tell you that 80% of buyers do not have the mental ability to look past bold choices. And part of that is because they're already paying a lot of money out of pocket. You think about down payments, closing costs, inspections, moving, all of that stuff is thousands of dollars. So if they walk in and they're seeing all these crazy paint choices, that immediately is going to be, okay, we need to deduct this because we're going to have to neutralize this if we want to move in. It's not really about choosing a particular paint color, but it's choosing something that's neutral enough that their stuff can actually look okay in the property. So that's why on the listing side, I would highly recommend choosing a neutral paint, especially something like agreeable gray, for example, that can kind of blend towards the warm tones or the cool tones. It's really just a safe bet there. The 4th thing is, just because it wasn't a big deal to you when you bought the house does not mean it's not going to be a big deal to your future buyers. So, for example, if there was moisture in the crawl space and it never got taken care of, that's something you really want to tell your listing agent. Keep in mind that it's better to be proactive and to have these things either remedy before you list or to disclose something that you cannot fix before you list. So, don't kind of hide those grenades in the closet and then go under contract and all of a sudden say, oh, I forgot to tell you that there are dead bodies hidden in the yard. All right. It is now designated a cemetery. You have to disclose that stuff. There's all the things. All right. Number 5, not all homes are actually going to go into multiple offers. So I know that we're coming off the heels of the COVID market where people are so used to everything just kind of in a blink of an eye being gone. And those multiple offers just kind of increasing that list price and doing all of this stuff that happened very organically, but seemingly overnight. Now our market has kind of settled and calmed down, right? We still have a very strong market here in the triangle, but multiple offers are typical in certain price points. They're also very typical of certain types of homes. For example, if the home is really turnkey and buyers don't really have to do a whole lot and it's in a pretty strong location, you're probably still going to see multiple offers. But there are some, other areas where maybe the home needs a little bit of love or whatever the case may be that's causing some buyer hesitation. You may not see more than that one offer on the table. Now, keep in mind, it's always great to work with a good agent that can help negotiate some terms and really bring everybody to the table to find that middle ground. But the whole everything goes into multiples mentality, that is really not true here in the end of 2024. So overall, just remember those 5 things to kind of get yourself in the right mental headspace and to make good decisions so that you can capitalize on the biggest asset that you will ever own. And that is the equity in the home that you are selling. I'm Laura Richardson with Relevate, and we'll see you on our next episode.